averaging 277,000 new COVID cases every day, blowing out January's record of 250,000. 3 Americans are testing positive for COVID every second. Numbers are a bit skewed in when they were reported because of Christmas last weekend, but now federal data shows in the U.S. 84,000 people are in hospitals with COVID. 9,000 Americans with COVID are being admitted to hospitals every day. Alex Stone, ABC News.
With infections spreading fast, Dr. Anthony Fauci suggests scaling back New Year's Eve plans.
If your plans are to go to a 40 to 50 person New Year's Eve party with all the bells and whistles and everybody hugging and kissing and wishing each other a happy new year, I would strongly recommend that this year we do not do that.
COVID-related sick calls leading to another day of canceled airline flights today. A Florida man has been left with serious injuries after a critically endangered tiger at the Naples Zoo named Echo attacked the man through the bars of the enclosure Wednesday. ABC's Andrew Dimbert has more on the tiger.
The 8-year-old male Malayan tiger was a star attraction at the zoo, with less than 200 members of his species left in the wild. The zoo posting this video about Echo last year.
They're actually critically endangered, and we want to make sure that the news gets out and people learn about these animals because we want to protect them and keep them around.
According to the sheriff's office, the worker was authorized to clean restrooms and the gift shop, but not the animal enclosures.
In South Africa, a coffin carrying the body of the late Archbishop Desmond Tutu arrived at St. George's Cathedral in Cape Town this morning. The motorcade procession, accompanied by Tutu's family, brought the Nobel Peace Prize winner to where he'll lie in state inside the church until Saturday. You're listening to ABC News.
Are you more than $10,000 in debt? Feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill, staying in one place and never getting ahead with those minimum payments? You feel like there's no way out? Don't let the credit card companies bully you anymore. There are programs in place to help you get free of your debt, and you don't have to pay the entire amount you owe. The program at Total Financial Freedom can help you get debt-free in months instead of decades. Get off the debt treadmill and stop the harassment. Get free of credit card debt, signature loans, department store cards, internet loans, and medical bills. Call now at 800-533-6605 for free information. For about 10 years, Total Financial Freedom has helped thousands. They're A-plus rated by the Better Business Bureau, too. Get off the endless cycle without having to declare bankruptcy. You'll have the right to settle your debt for a mere fraction of what you owe. Call Total Financial now at 800-533-6605. That's 800-533-6605.
After releasing and arresting a 14-year-old suspect this week, police in suburban Dallas now believe a different young teen shot 4 people inside of a convenience store on Sunday.
The working theory now is that 33-year-old Richard Acosta had a disagreement with some teenagers in that store in Garland, Texas, and sent his 14-year-old son in with a gun to settle it. 4 other teenagers were shot, 3 of them died, and Abel Acosta is on the run.
We need to get him off the street.
Garland Police Lieutenant Pedro Barano.
At age 14, he's willing to do this. We don't know what the future holds, but we know that he's willing to kill.
The elder Acosta is in custody, also charged with capital murder. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is calling on Hong Kong to release 2 journalists arrested Wednesday and now charged with sedition. It follows a police raid on the pro-democracy website they worked for, Stand News. Assets there frozen, forcing the site to shut down. Hong Kong Administrator Carrie Lam says the reporters tried to undermine national security.
Seditious acts and activities and inciting other people through public acts and activities could not be condoned under the guise of news reporting.
The Hong Kong raid comes amid a government crackdown on dissent. Inspectors have found 21 more cracks in an elevated subway line in Mexico City, the site of a deadly collapse. Last May, 26 people were killed. This is ABC News.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
The reasons more and more people are coming to NC Tractor to do business are the selection of Massey Ferguson tractors, Bobcat zero-turn mowers, fantastic customer service, and the special Phil Sheehan seasonal discounts. NC Tractor on Railroad Avenue in Rutherford is making dreams come true for folks who want the rest.
Good morning, everyone. It's a cloudy and mild start to your morning. Seeing some wet roads out there as well as we had some rain showers move through. More rain showers are in the forecast for this afternoon and evening with highs today in the upper 60s and low 70s. Showers taper off overnight tonight. We start dry and stay mainly dry for Friday. We'll see highs Friday in the upper 60s and low 70s. Stray showers are possible Friday around midnight. More rain for the weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
We are indeed going to get some of all of it, some cloudy skies and some wind and some rain and some clear skies in the next 5 days. All of that's going to happen for us. Right now it's 60 degrees as we look at the thermometer this morning. It's 60 degrees and 6 minutes after 7 o'clock. Thank you for joining us this morning for the second hour of our very popular morning wake-up call. Now I have these death announcements this morning. Joyce McFarland, 94, of the Hopewell community, died Wednesday, December 29th. Those arrangements are incomplete and will be announced by Washburn and Dorsey Funeral and Cremation Service. Again, that's Joyce McFarland. Candace Denise Stevens, 59, of Rutherfordton, passed away Monday, December the 27th at Rutherford Regional Medical Center. A family-led celebration of life will be held 2 o'clock Friday, December 31st at Restoration Church, Garden Brook Drive, Forest City. Crow's Mortuary is assisting the family of Candace Denise Stevens. Joe Dean Robertson, age 81, of Columbus, North Carolina, former longtime resident of Bostic, died Tuesday at Hospice of the Carolina Foothills. The funeral service will be held 3 o'clock Friday, December 31st at Sunshine Church. The family will receive friends in the sanctuary from 1:30 until 2:45 prior to the service. Burial will follow in the church cemetery. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Joe Dean Robertson. Larry Brown, age 70, of Forest City, passed away December 17th at Adrium Health Cabarrus. The family memorial mass will be held at Immaculate Conception Roman Catholic Church at 12 o'clock noon Saturday, January the 8th. The family will continue to celebrate the life of Larry with a second service in the chapel of the Paget and King Mortuary at 1:30 on Saturday, January the 8th. Family will receive friends following the service at the mortuary. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of those arrangements for Lawrence A. Larry Brown. Megan Brooks Bailey, age 29, of Ellenboro, died Monday, December 27th. The funeral service will be held at 12 noon Friday, December 31st at the Paget and King Chapel, with burial to follow at Eternal Hills Memorial Park. The family will receive friends from 11 until 12 noon prior to the service at the mortuary. The Paget and King Mortuary and Crematory is in charge of the arrangements for Megan Brooke Bailey. John Philip Phil J., age 70, of Forest City, died Sunday, December 26th at White Oak Manor of Spartanburg. The graveside service will be at Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery today at 11 o'clock. Burial will be at the Rutherford County Memorial Cemetery with military honors provided by the Rutherford County Honor Guard. Mike Mahan's Funeral Home and Cremation Service in charge of the arrangements for John Philip Phil J. Mabel Ruth Spangenberger Satrape, 96, of East Orange, New Jersey, died at home December 24th. A memorial service will be held 2 o'clock Saturday at Fairfield Mountains Chapel, Buffalo Creek Road, Lake Lure. Again, that's Mabel Ruth Spangenberg Satrape. Those are the death announcements we have in the house this morning. For the complete information on these and others, as they become available to us, can be heard this morning at 11:35, and then again at 5:10 this afternoon as part of the afternoon report in our effort to keep you informed as well as entertained. From 100.9 FM, 590 AM, WCAB in Rutherfordton. Bill O'Reilly Morning Update coming up next. We'll have that. He will get into our phone calls in just a few moments.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater in San Diego, filling in for Bill O'Reilly. Stand by for the O'Reilly Update Morning Edition. But first, a word.
Attention investors, want predictable monthly cash flow? How about double-digit annualized targeted returns with the benefits of real estate without being a landlord? Peace of mind comes from investing with a 15-year industry leader. Savvy investors are learning about the NRIA Real Estate Development Fund, and you should too. So please call 800-800-1414. That's easy, 800-800-1414.
An offer of securities is only made by the NRIA Private Placement Memorandum. Read it first. Past performance does not guarantee future results. NRIA is a real estate development firm. Learn more at NRIA.net.
Hey, I'm Mike Slater in San Diego, filling in for Bill O'Reilly. On this Thursday morning, I am thinking about resilience. I hope that we are not as weak of a people as it seems. I'm hoping that if bad enough of a tragedy happened in America, then enough of the American people would stand up. There's a great scene in the movie The Darkest Hour. It's about Winston Churchill, and he goes on the subway. He's never been on a subway before, but he goes down there to be with the people and get the mood of the people. This specific scene in the movie didn't happen, but Winston was known to run off and just pop up somewhere in the middle of London to get the pulse of the people. He asked the people on the subway car what they would do if the worst thing imaginable happened, and that is the enemy, the Nazis, appeared on the streets above. And the people said, fight! Fight the fascists. Fight them with whatever we can lay our hands on. Broom handles if we must. Street by street. A man says they'll never take Piccadilly. And Churchill, because of that moment, was inspired to not negotiate peace with Hitler after seeing the people of London's resolve. Do we have that same resolve today? Do you? Churchill called these people good, brave, and true. Are you? Adversity is good. Paul said, consider it pure joy whenever you face trials of many kinds. We are going to have some tough times in the very near future in America, and some people will crack. I say bring it, because I think it'll bring us to sanity and make us more mature and complete. More coming up.
Bill O'Reilly here for Lone Star Transfer. Many timeshare owners are very upset because their yearly dues have nearly doubled. Well, Lone Star will guarantee the release of all liability to your timeshare in writing and in a specific time frame. For a free, no-obligation consultation, please call 855-551-7066 or online at LoneStarTransfer.com.
My name's Mike Slater, MikeSlater.locals.com. This has been the O'Reilly Update, Morning Edition.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call Tracy or Jim, 828-287-3356, 100.9 FM and 590 AM.
Driving has a rhythm all its own. Don't wreck it with a text. Before you get behind the wheel, silence your phone. Or better yet, designate a texter. For more text-free driving tips, visit stoptextstoprex.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration.
The year was 1862. The Minnesota Sioux Indians had sold 24 million acres of their land and moved to reservations. In turn, they were to receive annual cash payments to be used to purchase food and other needed items. The annual payment that was to arrive in June didn't. By August, the Sioux were out of food and beginning to starve. 4 young braves came across a chicken's nest at a farmhouse. They started taunting each other about being afraid to take the eggs, and before long the situation escalated to the point that they could only be considered brave if they took the eggs and killed the residents. Over the next 6 weeks, the situation escalated to the point that between 450 and 800 white settlers and soldiers were killed by the Sioux Indians. In September, troops led by Colonel Sibley finally gained control of the situation. Nearly 2,000 Indians were taken into custody. Of these, 392 appeared before a military commission. The commission tried as many as 40 cases a day. It was decided that 307 Sioux would be hanged. Fortunately, President Lincoln stepped in, and on December 6, 1862, he commuted the death sentences of all but 39 of the Indians that were convicted of wanton murder or rape. On December 26, with the gallows surrounded by 1,400 soldiers, the Indians climbed the stairs. Nooses were put around their necks, the trap doors dropped open, and the crowd cheered. You've just heard another story from Old West Radio. I'm Dakota Livesay.
Jesse James Railroad Express has added 2 new sandwiches to their menu. Try the all-new crispy chicken sandwich with lettuce, tomato, and mayonnaise, or the crispy deluxe with lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise, bacon, and cheese. And now, the new beer-battered fish sandwich. All come with sides. Enjoy a refreshing milkshake or a hand-dipped ice cream cone. Open Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. until 4 p.m. Closed Wednesday and Sunday. Jesse James Railroad Express, 531 Railroad Avenue in Rutherford. Call 828-447-4644. Mondays only, hot dog with mustard, chili, and onions for only $1.24 each. All aboard the Jesse James Railroad Express.
Well, here we are on the New Year's Eve on this last Thursday of 2021 as we go to the phones now to find out more about what's been going on around our neighborhood. And Sheriff Chris Francis is on the phone with me right now. Sheriff, good morning.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. Hope you're well.
I am well. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, thank you, sir.
Good. Listen, before you get started in your regular report, could you give us an update on the horrible, terrible murder over on Morningstar Lake Road? Folks have been inquiring about that. Could you give us an update on that first?
Yes, sir. Most of the detectives continue to do interviews yesterday. We do have some search warrants we'll continue to conduct, mostly on cell phones and those types of things to make sure we get our timeline and get a better understanding. Right now, the same 5 charges that I gave you, felony charges that I gave you on Matthew Thomas Cooley, are the same ones that we have in effect. The detectives do continue to work that case. Some of the things that I did not mention when I talked about the partial remains, they were found in a burn pile there outside of the residence at 482 Morningstar Lake Road. The fire was still smoldering whenever deputies got there on Monday, just after 2:30 or so. So it was a long night of trying to locate those remains. There is an autopsy scheduled for 8 o'clock today with those remains. And hopefully we'll have a better understanding after that as well. But it will take some time to get that information back.
What a terrible incident. Terrible incident.
It is definitely horrific.
What's on the report today?
Jim, in the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 142 calls of service. There have been 12 arrests processed at the county jail, currently incarcerated. We have 157. Among those arrested, Robert Payne Davis, 32-year-old male of Far City, was charged with interfering with the jail fire system and received an additional $5,000 secure bond. Jason Adam Hill, 40-year-old male of Ruston, was charged with misdemeanor conspiracy and received a $1,000 secure bond. Andrew Franklin Hodge, 34-year-old male of Union Mills, was charged with assault while he was in jail and received an additional $1,000 secure bond. Derek Thomas Rush, 32-year-old male from Ruston, also charged with assault, received an additional $1,000 secure bond. David Hugh Cole, 49-year-old male of Far City, was charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and received a $1,000 secure bond, as well as failure to comply on a child support warrant, and received a $500 cash bond for that. Christopher Scott Jones, 29-year-old male of Ellenboro, was charged with failure to appear, excuse me, and received a $500 secure bond. Marcus Daniel Edwards, 30-year-old male of Far City, was charged with 4 counts of failure to appear and received a $4,000 secure bond. Serena Maria Bradley, 41-year-old female of Jacksonville, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear and received a $1,500 secure bond. Tammy Marie Mann, 28-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with assault and received a $1,000 secure bond. Anthony Darnell Gary, 52-year-old male trial, was charged 3 counts of failure to appear and received a $5,000 secure bond. Jason Scott Miller, 20-year-old male of Hendersonville, was charged with failure to appear and received a $500 secure bond. Charlie Weldon Byers Jr., 22-year-old male of Kingston, North Carolina, was charged with failure to appear and received a $500 unsecured bond. Brian Timothy Gaddy, 29-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with 1 count of felony failure to appear and 4 counts of misdemeanor failure to appear and received a $6,000 secure bond. Paul Alexander Ganny, 37-year-old male of Ruston, charged with assault on a female, and see a district court judge for bond. Among our incidents, we had a larceny on High Street in Ellenborough. Looks like there was a Ryobi grill that was taken in that incident. Also, that had 2 batteries and a charger with it, about $200. There was U.S. currency, an amount of $200, and male and female clothes as well as linens that were taken in that incident as well. We also had a recovery of a stolen vehicle that happened there at the river access at Grays Road. A deputy got out with a vehicle, and the subject, the vehicle was a 2003 Ford Explorer truck. It did have a stolen tag out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, and it also, upon running the VIN, was stolen and reported to Maiden Police Department there in North Carolina. The suspect was able to get away from the deputy and jumped in the river. However, we were able to identify him, the deputy, with his video that he had as well. As information he gathered on the scene, was able to identify him as a Kenneth Scott Collins. Again, Kenneth Scott Collins, who has addresses in Krause, North Carolina, as well as connections here in Rutherford County. So we'll be looking for him in the near future. In a separate incident, we had an ID fraud on C. Fowler Road. Someone used the victim's information to open up a Wells Fargo account out of state. We also had an overdose on Salem Church Road. This was an 18-month-old. Appears to have gotten into fentanyl. The baby was taken to Cleveland Regional and released at about 8 o'clock last night, and DSS as well as our detectives are involved in that investigation. We had a larceny on Union Road, West Point Baptist Church. Unfortunately, the catalytic converters were taken off of the van. This continues to be a bad problem. Hopefully, each church will think about where they park those vans, as well as hopefully having some video on that. This church did have video, so we're hopefully going to be able to look at that today or very soon. And then we had a larceny on Maple Creek where a subject came in and stole $70 of U.S. currency from the victim in that case. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
Sheriff, there are never any dull moments in the world of crime fighting, is there?
I tell you, I was ready for a foot chase on the River Bridge off of 108 yesterday. Never was able to locate him, but we were ready. And hard to believe he jumped in the river. It was about 66 degrees, unseasonably warm yesterday when he did that. So it was interesting.
Some more bad news from News 13. That 3-year-old Eileen Gordon up in Hendersonville died from her injuries, where she shot herself in the head with a gun that she found in a car. She did succumb to those injuries and died overnight.
I saw that. That is very sad, and I always want folks, if they have firearms, to keep those away from wandering hands and minds. That is very dangerous.
Sure, thank you for that report, and you be safe out there today, and I'll see you next time. I guess it'll be next year when I talk to you again.
It will be. Talk to you next Tuesday, sir.
See you. Bye-bye. Boy, what a report. 24 minutes after 7. Let me brag on Hutchins Pest Control a minute. Don't let the pest bug you when Hutchins Pest Control is as close as a phone call. Honest, dependable, professional, and on-time service may be the reason they keep getting voted best pest control. If you have a pest problem, call this family-run business at 287-5171. Licensed in North and South Carolina and fully insured and bonded. Get a free estimate when you call Hutchins Pest Control and be sure the job is done right. That's Hutchins Pest Control. Call them today at 287-5171 and they'll be right there. Well, they deserve it. They've earned it, and they're closed for a few days. I'm talking about our good friends over at Washburn General Store. They're closing for a few days to get some rest, and will be back open next year, sometime after January. So keep that in mind. And watch the notification. They will be back, and you start the new year off shopping with our good friends at Washburn General Store between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway. And to our friends in Washburn General Store, Happy New Year. Here's Jesse now reporting in from 911. Jesse, good morning.
Good morning.
What's on the report?
In the past 24 hours, Rutherford County Sheriff's Office 911 Communications has processed 488 911 calls and administrative calls, which consisted of 57 for EMS, 142 for the Sheriff's Office, 45 for Forest City, 7 for Lake Lure, 24 for Rutherford, and 45 for Spindale. Under the fire department, Lake Lure had a residential fire alarm, SDO had a motor vehicle accident, and Spindale had 2 motor vehicle accidents. That's all.
Thanks, Jesse. Have a good day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Thinking about the departure of a loved one through death is a subject we don't like to talk about. However, pre-planning or prepaying for a funeral is a consideration and responsible thing to do. With so many options available today, it's important to speak with someone you can trust and someone who can help you find a balance between the emotional, spiritual, and financial needs of your loved ones. Crow's Mortuary and Crematory is recognized as one of the best family-run funeral homes. It's a family tradition, and they know how to care for your family. Any questions you might have, they will be happy to answer. Call Crow's Mortuary and Cremation Services at 286-2304.
Now let's see if Ruby Taylor is keeping things quiet over in the SDO Fire District. Ruby, good morning. Are you keeping things quiet?
No.
No?
They messed up and had to go to a vehicle accident.
Uh-oh.
And on my birthday calendar, I've got Joel Bailey, Jeremy Husky, Gene Green, Drew Radford, Everett Murray, Reggie McGinnis, Margaret Green, and Jerry Husky is having birthdays today, and hope all these people have a nice day. And the signs are in the thighs today and going to the thighs tomorrow. Jim, that's all I got.
Thanks very much, Ruby. Enjoy your day.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Farm Bureau Insurance doesn't hire celebrities to push auto coverage. We think people might like to make decisions based on service and savings, not just because that guy from that show says it's a good idea. Instead of faces you know from your TV, we offer faces you know from your neighborhood, because we're headquartered in North Carolina with local agents right in your town. That's really the only thing we want to be famous for. North Carolina Farm Bureau Insurance. Helping you is what we do best.
In Rutherford County, please call 287-2428.
North Carolina Farm Bureau Mutual Insurance Company, Farm Bureau Insurance of North Carolina, Inc., Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi, an independent licensee of the Blue Cross and Blue Shield Association.
Now here's Gary Wilson. He's reporting to us from Fairfield Mountains Fire District, and also overlooking things at the Bills Creek Community Fire District. Good morning, Gary.
Good morning.
How you doing this morning?
Pretty good, you?
Yeah, man.
A little clouds and a little patchy fall, nothing too thick. Had some showers yesterday, got a little bit of rain yesterday morning, and a little bit more last night, but at least we didn't get the storms they were calling for.
Yeah, that was nice.
Kind of stayed west of it, sounded like. Toward Georgia and over in that area there. But we got by with just some on and off again showers. That's pretty good little downpour there last night lasted about 15-20 minutes. Getting to let the leaves down a little bit. And we're sitting about 55 degrees this morning. No calls overnight for us or Bill Cook, either one of them were out. So started out pretty quietly.
Well,
we'll end the year quiet and start it off quiet, hopefully.
I hope so. I hope this year ends pretty quickly and next one starts with a lot of positive things happening.
A normal year myself.
Yeah.
I think everybody else is too.
I think so. Yeah. All right, Gary, thank you so very much, and you enjoy your day today, and I will check back in with you one more time this year. That'll be tomorrow.
We'll talk to you then.
Thanks. Bye.
Your car's best friend can be RS Speedy Lube Service Center. That's because RS Speedy Lube Service Center and Car Wash can keep your car or truck running clean with a regular oil change. They check the fluids and vacuum out the car and have you on your way in no time. Go next door for a radiator or transmission flush. Brakes, exhaust, CV joints, and service for big trucks and campers also available. Pull next door to the RS Speedy Automatic Car Wash and make your car happy with a clean, all under and all over car wash. It's all at RS Service Center and Car Wash on Railroad Avenue in Rutherfordton.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership. That's Sisk Family Ford, Oak Street, Forest City. Well, let's see if Bostic is nice and quiet over there with their fire department news, and Laverne is on the phone to give us that news. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you this morning?
I am good. How are you doing?
I'm great.
Good.
We're approaching New Year's Eve.
Were you going to be celebrating big time on tomorrow night?
Not really. I'll do a little bit, but not a big bang. Well, it's 60 degrees over here this morning. It's a little warm. We had some rain through the night, but I don't think we had no bad storms. The fire department responded to one medical call, and as the year closes out on them, I want to thank them for all they done this year for our town. And go by the drop-in up here in Boston, check the deli out, and they have some good meats in there. And hope everyone has a safe day today.
You have a good one too, Laverne. I'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks.
Bye.
It can be a tough call when it comes time to provide a daycare service for an aging parent or a loved one. You can always depend on Rutherford Life Services for a safe facility that offers medical monitoring, nutritional meals, fun activities, and is a loving environment. Rutherford Life is licensed by the State of North Carolina Division of Aging. They will be glad to answer any questions you may have. Call them at 288-1697. Rutherford Life Services offers a trained staff of professionals who you can entrust your loved one to. Rutherford Life Services is located at 230 Fairground Road in Spindale.
Now at 7:31, we still have 60 degrees, cloudy skies. It's going to be pretty nice this morning, but the showers may come later this afternoon. Let's go up to Hudlow Fire District, talk with Bob Hodge. Bob, good morning.
Well, good Thursday morning.
Well, Bob, I see you've got your dancing shoes all polished up, ready for the big deal tomorrow night. You're going to be dancing around.
Oh, I've got all that fixed up there, and so ready to celebrate the whole year out and the new one in here.
Let's bring it on, yeah.
But if you're going to do anything this year, you better do it. I tell you, time's running out here, so. But Jim, up here in our territory's been quiet. Hadn't had any fire calls during the night, so that's good. And looked like we missed the storms here, but look like we're going to have some more move in over the weekend and turning cold. So get back to winter time again.
Yeah, that's I hear it knocking on the door a little bit. Those thunderstorms may come some this afternoon, scattered thunderstorms according to one forecast. But we'll see. Maybe this be rain. We hope so.
I know it, but we're having this warm weather right now. So, but I saw a little butterfly the other day there, and hitting December there.
Wow, that's unusual.
I know it there. So, all these flies and bugs are flying around here. So, maybe that cold weather will knock a few of them out there.
Yeah, they're confused. They don't know what season it is.
They don't, do they? I don't either.
I don't either. That's right.
Oh, well, Jim, that's about it up here this morning, and so you take care, and you have a good day now.
Bob, thank you, and I'll see you tomorrow.
All right, bye-bye.
Bye. Bob Hodge reporting in from the Hudlow Fire District. You know, nothing strikes fear in the hearts of people more than receiving an IRS audit letter in the mail. Audits take much time away from your business and family, requiring you to gather mounds of records, and can become overwhelming unless you have someone you can depend on to take care of that for you. That's why we can recommend IE Accounting and Tax Service. Chris and his team of professionals are in the business to help. Even if you depended on someone else to prepare your taxes, IE Accounting and Tax Service will be glad to assist you or your company. Don't hesitate to call. As a small business owner, you have more important things to do than keep your own books. Why not let IE Accounting and Tax Service take care of that for you so you can get back to the job of running your business? Consider their payroll solutions for your business, cash flow management, litigation support, and forensic investigation. Why not give them a call and see what they can do for your business? Here's that phone number, 828-395-1777. They're at 211 West Main Street, Spindale. Again, that's 395-1777, and it's spelled Aryee. Now let's head over toward the Cherry Mountain Fire District. Sue Price is on the phone. Let's see what news she has for us today. Good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How are you doing?
I'm doing good. Hope you are.
Yes, indeed.
Well, good. Kind of cloudy and rainy looking over here, but it's going to be a good day. Well, let's see. I didn't have any calls from the fire department. I don't have any birthdays or anniversaries on my church calendar. On my personal calendar, I got a birthday for Gloria Ekstrom, so happy birthday, Gloria. I hope you'll have a good day. And Fairview, let's see, Fairview has a birthday for Josh Overcash. I hope Josh will have a good day. And First Broad doesn't have anything today. Well, wait a minute. Yeah, they do. They've got an anniversary for Tony and Sheena Brackett, so hope they'll have a good day and enjoy it. We hope anybody's having a birthday or anniversary will have a real good day on their special day and enjoy it. And so far, I have no announcements come in, so it's just quiet and calm here, looking for a good day, and I hope you'll have one, Jim.
Thanks, Sue. You enjoy your day and be careful over there.
All right. Bye-bye.
And we'll check now, see if we can get in touch with someone there at the Drop-In Family Mart there in Bostic, find out what's cooking there in the deli. You may have heard the news by now, but Jesseline Maxwell, the wife of the sex-perverted individual, was found guilty on 5 of 6 counts yesterday. She was serving as a pimp for him, as you recall, and bringing underage girls, 12, 13, 14-year-old girls, over to their private little island and for the benefit of wealthy businessmen and people. And she was part of that. She was setting them up, and with her boyfriend, the one who was charged with that, he died or committed suicide, or somehow he ended up dying, will not stand trial. But there are a lot of other folks in the powerful range of leadership across the country and around the world were involved in that, and hopefully they too will be found out and punished. She was a pimp for little girls. Can you imagine your daughter being involved with something that maybe somebody you trusted, somebody you had confidence in, was setting them up for a rendezvous with some old man because she was wealthy and had the money to do it? That's what she was doing. But now she's found guilty on 5 of 6 charges and will face her sentence sometime in the near future. That's reinforces my idea that the court system can work when you let it work. In that case, there could have been many reasons, excuses. They could have found her, not guilty, but no, they found her guilty.
Another season has come and gone, and you're still looking at that same sad-looking sofa or recliner. Well, now's the time to change the inside of your home to look as pretty as colors outside. And the perfect place to start is the Recliner Center. Right now at the Recliner Center, everything is 20% off. That's 20% off sofas, recliners, sofa recliners. If someone you love is having trouble standing, the Recliner Center has all lift chairs on sale for 10% off. All lift chairs, 10% off. Now, some of these chairs can take you from a standing position, then safely back down to a sitting position with no effort on your part whatsoever. Angela is cleaning out merchandise to make room for more. So now's your chance to redecorate your home and take advantage of the great savings at the Recliner Center. All lift chairs, 10% off. Everything else is 20% off. Angela is seeing folks by appointment only, so call 828-395-3562. Call her today. The Recliner Center. They're on Cooper's Gap Road in Rutherfordton.
Well, if you're planning on doing any partying over the New Year's Eve, go get your party supplies at the Drop-In Family Mart there in Boston. They have plenty of those kind of things, chips and all kinds of dip and maybe some wings. They get those fixed up for you, too. They got a great selection of fresh meat market, and they'll slice your meat for the cooking of the ham and all those things. They'll do that right on the scene. It's a great place, great meat market, and great friendly grocery store. And a wonderful deli for breakfast time right now. They're busy over there, too busy to talk to us this morning. But we know they're doing a great job, and I know many of you know that, too, because you go by often for breakfast and pick up some of that chicken for lunch and other things. They do pizza, too. It's just a great place to have on your priority list, places to shop because they're homegrown, They're locally owned, and they're right here between Bostic and Sunshine on the Bostic Sunshine Highway, right across from the post office. Go see them. Drop in Family Mart in Bostic. Now at 7:40, we're going up to Shingle Hollow. Tina White, good morning.
Good morning, Jim.
How are you doing today?
I am doing well. On my way to physical therapy this morning.
Well,
So I'm happy to be doing better each day.
good.
Well, in Shingle Hollow, it's 58 degrees on my front porch, and there's patches of fog, so people be safe as you're driving and commuting back and forth. The fire departments were calm and quiet the past 24 hours. And there's an anniversary on Pilgrim Way Baptist Church calendar today for Bubba and Carmen Brock. Hope they have a wonderful anniversary. No birthdays. Just waiting on the new year to come in. The sheriff's report this morning was terrible.
Wasn't that something?
Our county is, it sounds like a horror movie. Dismembered bodies, 18-month-old babies overdosing on fentanyl, guy jumping in the river, outrunning law enforcement. So all the listeners today, if you would, just do something kind. Tell somebody about Jesus. Let's counteract all this evil.
Yeah. It's definitely we got a heart problem.
Yes.
Got a heart problem in the county.
And we know the solution.
Yes.
And it's such a wonderful solution.
Yes, it is. Well, you're
Well,
right. I agree with you, and I hope things go well for you at therapy.
They will. They'll inflict pain and torture, and I'll just have to bear it.
No pain, no gain. Is that what they say?
That's what they say.
Well, listen,
I hope everyone does have a safe day. And are you going to be on the radio in the morning?
Oh, yes. We'll be here.
Okay. Well, hopefully I'll be there, too. Good Lord willing, and the creek don't rise.
I'll see you then. So long.
Bye-bye.
That's Tina White reporting from the Shingle Hollow Fire District on our way to therapy. On the road again. 7:42, and we're going up to Union Mills next. To win in sports, you must adjust your strategy as the game changes. The same is true of investments. Why not let Andrew Tisdale, your Edward Jones financial advisor, help you create a game plan for financial success? Call 828-287-9197 and get started today. That's Andrew Tisdale at Edward Jones Financial Advisor, 828-287-9197. Good morning, Brenda Kelly.
Good morning, Jim Bishop. How are you on this tremendous Thursday morning?
Well, I'm doing better now that I've had a chance to talk with you this morning.
Well, I'm glad. I hope I've made your day.
You have.
That's good. I have to agree with Tina on that sheriff's report. We need more of Jesus.
Yes, he's the answer.
That's exactly right. It's terrible. I just want to get tomorrow over with and get a new, whole new week and year and everything else started and pray that it'll be better.
Well, we need more Jesus, as you said, and we need less government handouts.
Well, yeah, that's true, too, and people need to work. If they was working, they wouldn't have all this time on their hands to do evil, would they?
Preach on, girl, preach on.
What does the Bible say? Work by the sweat of your brow that you may have bread on your table?
Yes, that's exactly right.
So
it also says somewhere, I don't know if it's in the Bible, it's a long time saying, an idle mind is the devil's workshop.
Yeah, my Bible teacher, when I went to school, it tells you I'm an antique. You could take Bible in school, and she always told us that an idle mind was the devil's workshop.
Yeah.
And according to the sheriff's report, it's true, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, let's see. I've got 56 degrees on the front porch. I don't have any birthdays, any anniversaries, and then ways of announcements. Friday, December the 31st, ring in the new year with Union Mills Learning Center starting at 5 p.m. Food available, $5 per meal. Various bands beginning at 6 p.m. and going until. There's no admission, but they do have a tip jar available for the band. And other than that, that's all I know of that's going on.
All right.
So just everybody be careful, and if you're going somewhere, it could be foggy. Just look out.
Well, you take it easy today, and I'll see you back here tomorrow.
Okay, have a good one. Catch you later.
Bye. And we'll check in with Ellenboro and see what's up over there.
Cheryl, I've been talking to Tommy and David, the outside salesmen at Henson Building Materials in Forest City. They're going to help us navigate through our remodeling project.
Well, I know they have tons of experience, so we'll be in good hands.
Good hands is right. Even professional builders shop there because they trust the quality products and service.
And did you know they have a great relationship with our community, too? Oh, they're so nice.
Henson Building Materials, 177 Duke Street, Forest City.
Building starts here.
All right, let's head over toward Ellenboro now and see if Luther Gilligan is up and at 'em already this morning, drinking coffee and swapping lies with the good gentleman over there. Good morning, Luther. Let me see if I can push his right button here. Good morning, Luther. How are you doing?
Hey, I am doing great this morning, having a good time.
Good, good.
Sitting here waiting on the sun to come up, drinking coffee.
Swapping lies with the fellow citizens there in Ellenboro?
Sort of.
Yeah.
See which one can get the best one. But it's quiet down here this morning. There's not a whole lot of traffic moving yet. Nothing going on. The fire department only had one medical call yesterday. Other than that, they were quiet last night. Nothing going on over them. So it's nothing going on anywhere down here. So you have a good day up there, and we'll talk to you tomorrow.
All right, Luther, I hope you have a great day, and be careful over there.
Take care now.
All right, bye. That's Luther Gilligan, and they're in Ellenboro, keeping an eye on things for us. And it's time for birthdays and anniversaries here on the program. If you are one of those folks that just barely squeaked in here in this year, December 30th, call us and we'll celebrate with you. You could have been a New Year's baby, but you got a couple of days ahead of that. So make that the 30th of December, birthdays and anniversaries. 287-3356, 287-3356, and we'll celebrate with your birthday. Meanwhile, if you have those clothes you want to looking good and cleaned up, why don't you take them by Folks Cleaners? They do such a professional job, laundry and dry cleaning, so don't sweat it out over at your house. Let somebody else do that for you. Press those shirts and those uniforms and those pants and those things you like to look a little neat, they'll do that for you. At a fair price, too. They have a senior discount. You got a window there, drive up to the side of the building there. They open the door. You don't even have to get out of the car. Folks Cleaners doing a great job. And over at Granny B's, you can find a good breakfast between 7 and 11, Tuesday through Saturday. Remember, they have delicious pizza. You get Granny B's special pizza. And it's a delicious place to go and look in the counter there and see all those delicious Daylight Donuts. My. Make your mouth water just thinking about it. Delicious Daylight Donuts. And, of course, those subs are always great. It's a good place. I hope you'll put it on your list to enjoy a meal with them whenever you can. Granny B's there in Spindale, right beside the Shake Shop.
Happy birthday.
Birthdays today include Andrew McNeely up in Sunshine. Andrew's 21 today. Gordon McDaniel over in Ellenboro, retired from Rutherford Electric's, having a birthday today. Other birthdays across the world and nation include Asa Griggs Chandler, developer of Oka. Born in 1851, 1865. Rudyard Kipling wrote a book. Was a writer. He died in 1936. 1920, Jack Ward of Hawaii 5-0 was born. He died in 1998. 1945, Derry Jones of the Monkees, he was born, died in 2012. 1975, Tiger Woods was born. He's the golfer, as you know. 1984, LeBron James was born. Other events on this date: 1731, the first U.S. music concert was held. 1922, Soviet Union is founded. 1939, of Mice and Men is released. 1953, first color TV goes on sale. Cost is $1,175 each. Now they just throw away models almost, aren't they? 1963, Let's Make a Deal debuted on NBC TV. This is National Bicarbonate of Soda Day, Falling Needles Family Fest Day, reminder to clean up icicles, clean up and recycle live Christmas trees. There you go. And it's also Bacon Day. So now you're up to date on this date in history here on WCAB.
When you want your ad dollars to reach the masses, call the sales team at WCAB. Call Tracy or Jim, 828-287-3356, 100.9 FM and 590 AM.
The psalmist said, "Yea, though I walk through the valley." In many parts of the world, the sheep are slowly led up the mountain slopes in the spring and return to the sheepfold in the fall. The sheep and the shepherd enjoy the most intimate contact when they are alone in the mountains. You may have heard someone talking about a mountaintop experience. Those are the times when we seem to be able to draw most closely to the Lord. We would like to stay on the mountaintop all the time, but life isn't that way. When we come down from the mountain, there are valleys to go through. The psalmist had in mind some of the valleys of life, the difficult times that perplex the human spirit. You may be in difficult circumstances right now, circumstances that are sapping your physical and emotional energy. You don't know which way to turn. That's where the shepherd comes in. The sheep did not fear the valleys of life because they knew the shepherd was with them. Corrie ten Boom, a lady who spent several years in a German prison camp, said, "I would rather walk with God in the darkness than by myself in the light." We should not be surprised that some of those who seem to be the most peaceful in times of adversity are the ones who, when walking through the valley, rely upon the intimate fellowship with the shepherd. This is Bill Hostler with today's Key to Confident Living.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. On average, about 3 Americans are now testing positive for COVID every second, and many more Americans are waiting in long lines for their COVID tests. These men waiting in cars outside of a Milwaukee testing site.
I've been waiting here for about 2 hours now.
There's nowhere else available. I mean, you can't buy any of the home kits right now.
The U.S. daily caseload exploding to an average of 277,000 per day, sending testing sites into overdrive.
We can't test everyone in the community that needs to be tested right now, so we do the best we can.
In New York, the demand critical, especially for children who need to get tested before returning to the classroom on Monday. The testing urgency even prompting a warning from the fire department, pleading with New Yorkers not to call 911 for COVID testing or transportation to a hospital to be tested.
ABC's Morgan Norwood. Former socialite and Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell's lawyers say she'll appeal her sex offender conviction. She faces up to 65 years in prison for being found guilty Wednesday of helping the disgraced Epstein abuse young girls for years.
At the heart of the prosecution's case, 4 accusers who say they were recruited and groomed by Maxwell when they were teenagers. One accuser, only known by her first name Carolyn, saying in a statement, quote, satisfaction with Maxwell's conviction is tempered by the knowledge that the other co-conspirators have yet to be held responsible for their involvement in Jeffrey Epstein's extraordinary criminal enterprise.
ABC's Mona Kosar Abdi. Secretary of State Antony Blinken calling on Hong Kong to release 2 journalists after the reporters connected to one of the last pro-democracy news websites were arrested for sedition. Hong Kong Administrator Carrie Lam said Thursday they tried to undermine national security.
These actions are law enforcement actions. These actions have nothing to do with so-called suppression of press freedom.
You're listening to ABC News.
This is important news. If you have unfiled tax returns, the IRS is shifting gears and ramping up investigations on non-filers this year. If you fail to file your tax returns for a year or more, or you owe back taxes, now's the time to call Optima Tax Relief before the IRS finds you. Optima is America's #1 most trusted tax resolution firm, specialize in helping individuals, families, and businesses get right with the IRS. They're experts in the Taxpayer Relief Initiative, a powerful new program that can make resolving tax issues easier. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, Optima's award-winning team has helped thousands of people protect their paychecks, bank accounts, homes, and businesses by putting their tax problems to rest, resolving over $1 billion in tax debts for their clients. Call Optima now for a free consultation.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Australia now relaxing COVID testing rules despite daily cases there reaching a record 20,000. Prime Minister Scott Morrison says people living with an infected person must isolate for a week and don't necessarily need a test.
If you're anything other than a close contact and you're not symptomatic, you don't need to go and get a test.
The nation trying to avoid isolating asymptomatic people in an effort to ease staff shortages at healthcare facilities, hotels, and airlines. In Bradley, Illinois.
61, 65 says come you hot. I need 2 medics. 2 medics.
A police scanner on broadcast defied 2 officers shot at a hotel Wednesday night. One of them died, the other critical. The Kankakee County Sheriff searching for a suspect they call armed and dangerous. In Wisconsin, a makeshift memorial taken down.
The Waukesha community set up the memorial to remember the 6 people killed and more than 60 others hurt when a driver plowed through the November parade. Mayor Sean Riley says items are being preserved by the Waukesha County Historical Society.
We decommissioned this memorial not to end our grieving, but to move to a new place as a community, a place where we will better understand and acknowledge our pain, all while continuing to help those who are suffering.
Next month, the Waukesha Common Council will form a commission to create plans for a permanent memorial. Mark Remillard, ABC News.
This is ABC News.
On our first date, we had masks on and kept 6 feet apart. Now, we're a lot closer.
Just like Cliff and Deb, thousands of singles over 50 found their perfect match on Silver Singles last year.
I feel like I'm 20 years old again, and I'm pretty sure she feels the same way.
Rediscover the magic of dating with Silver Singles, the exclusive community for singles over 50. Sign up today and receive daily matches you won't want to miss at silversingles.com/radio. silversingles.com/radio.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. For the day ahead, we'll see a cloudy sky with a chance of rain this afternoon. Also this evening, could see a few thunderstorms as well. Temperatures staying warm again today with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. Those showers and storms move out overnight tonight. We start dry Friday morning and stay dry Friday afternoon. We'll see highs Friday in the upper 60s and low 70s. Stray showers Friday night, but then we'll see some more rain likely this weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
Thank you very much, Zach. We are cloudy here in Rutherfordton, cloudy and 60 degrees. We'll be warming up only today to about 71, about 11 more degrees to go. And this afternoon, we may experience some thunder shower activity. New precipitation amounts less than 1/10 of an inch possible. Then tonight, cloudy with some rain showers, lows around 50. Tomorrow, we're expected to get up to 69, and then on Saturday, 71 with a 70% chance of showers on Saturday. So the New Year's Eve celebrations outdoors may be a little bit wet, but maybe you'll find a little room to shoot off those firecrackers to celebrate a brand new year coming in. Brand new year coming in. A brand new year coming in. Yes, a brand new year coming in. Isn't that great? 2022. We'll see what happens. Hopefully it'll be better than what we've experienced in the past, although everything was not negative. There have been some things that have been, and we'll see what happens in 2022. When you hear the sheriff's report in just a few moments, you're going to be glad when the new year rolls around. Maybe it'll be a little bit different. We'll have that sheriff's report in just a few moments. Right now we have this.
At Smith Drugs of Forest City, we are continue to offer the COVID-19 rapid testing and the COVID-19 vaccinations. Please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591 with any questions or concerns that you may have. You may also visit our website at smithsdrugsfc.com and schedule your COVID rapid 19 test or your vaccination. Again, if you have any questions, please call our pharmacy at 828-245-4591.
It's that time again, time to get the flu vaccines. And Smith Drugs in Forest City has the flu vaccinations available. Walk-ins Monday through Friday and Saturdays by appointment. And Smith Drug is asking all their Dream Station and System 1 CPAP customers to call if you need any help with registering your recall devices. Just call the Home Medical Department for any help or with questions at 828-245-4591. And Smith Drugs has the Moderna and Pfizer initial shots and the boosters. They also have the flu vaccines at Smith Drugs of Forest City.
From news from here and there this morning, the sheriff will talk more about this in his report coming up here in just a few moments. But the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office says that the remains of the two dismembered bodies found Monday were burned in a pile, and he'll talk more about that. Also, sad news out of Henderson County. Authorities confirmed with News 13, 3-year-old Ailey Gordon has died from the injuries she sustained when she was shot in the head on Christmas Day. She found the gun in a truck, apparently. In a 911 call released Tuesday by the Henderson County Sheriff's Office, Ailey's father, retired Henderson County Sheriff's Captain Tim Gordon, told the dispatchers a family visitor left a 9mm pistol in a pickup truck Saturday while the little girl was riding her new bike. She picked up a pistol and shot herself in the head by accident, Gordon told the dispatcher. And they worked on her over a period of hours, but she did succumb to those injuries. Sad note there from Henderson County. A lot of thoughts and prayers are going that way. Meanwhile, over in Cleveland County deputies said a parent told a school resource officer at Crest Middle School in Shelby that substitute teacher Emily Durden had possibly been sending their child inappropriate images and videos, accused of sending sexually explicit pictures and videos to students. ABC affiliate WSOC is reporting that the investigation found that Durden, 19, had started conversations and shared sexually explicit material with several 13 and 14-year-old students. In an interview with police, Durden admitted to sending sexually explicit videos and pictures, and deputies said she was charged with 2 counts of indecent liberties with a student, 3 counts of displaying material harmful to a minor, and 2 counts of second-degree sexual exploitation of a minor. Durden started working as a part-time sub on November the 8th, and investigators said she had only been employed 4 days before she reportedly started sending lewd messages to students. She was arrested on Thursday and released Friday after posting a $50,000 bond. as part of bond condition. Durden can't go near a school and cannot have any contact with the victims anymore. I'm wondering in school and in college when their teachers are training, taking lessons for becoming a teacher, is part of the requirements teaching anything about morality or what we shouldn't do in students? I don't know if they're teaching any of that or not, but somehow or other we're having a lot of stories where teachers are indeed involving themselves with students, which is really sad. So, but you would think, being educated, they would know better, right? You would think, but not necessarily. A lot of educated folks don't know better, all the way up to Washington. Meanwhile, the Daily Courier is reporting, Scott Carpenter wrote the story about unusually warm weather coming to an end. We talked about the weather a lot this morning. Having an occasional December day with temperatures in the 60s to early 70s is not necessarily unusual for Rutherford County, but having a prolonged period of spring-like temperatures in December is. Forecasters say the warm temperatures will be gone next week as temperatures move closer to normal. For the entire month of December, so far, temperatures have been averaging 6.1 degrees above normal. The sustained warm pattern is unusual, officials say, and is about to change. January is the coldest month, and the area will be returning to a more normal weather pattern starting next week, according to Scott Krenz, who is the meteorologist with the National Weather Services in Greenville-Spartanburg region. He says warm days in the winter do happen in the south, but we have had pretty warm temperatures throughout December. Next week, it will start feeling more like winter. Over the next 3 months through March, this area is expected to have temperatures that are, on average, slightly above normal, according to the National Weather Service's long-range projections. Regarding precipitation, Rutherford County had been normal from late August through November, but beginning in December, Rutherford County is designated as abnormally dry, according to the Drought Monitor. The Drought Monitor, which is a map released each week, shows the entire United States and indicates which areas are experiencing drought. It also indicates the intensity of the drought. The Drought Monitor is produced jointly by the National Drought Mitigation Center at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, the National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, which is NOAA, and the United States Department of Agriculture, USDA. Though Rutherford County has experienced precipitation in December, including this week, each drought monitor update this month indicates that Rutherford County is a bit drier than normal. So we'll watch out for those changes. On Monday, it will feel more like winter in Rutherford County with high temperatures in the 40s. Rain is likely to be present for us this afternoon and tomorrow and throughout the weekend. So it's beginning to change in the cold weather direction. 12 minutes after 8 o'clock, the Sheriff's Report's coming up here in just a few moments.
For a delicious meal every day, call on Gregory's Original. Choose from their top menu of burgers, subs, grinders, pasta dishes, fresh salads, and so much more. All dishes are prepared fresh daily. Hours are Monday through Friday, 11 a.m. until 9 p.m., Saturday, noon until 9 p.m. Now at Gregory's, try the family-style meals. The dining room is now open, but curbside and takeout is still available. Enjoy lunch or dinner today with your favorite meal from Gregory's. Call 287-2171, located in the Park Lane Plaza in Rutherford's Gregory's Original.
Well, accomplished of disgraced liberal financier Jeffrey Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell has been on trial, as you may have noticed. She was found guilty Wednesday on 5 of the 6 sex trafficking counts against her. Prosecutors argued Maxwell and Epstein were a wealthy couple who used their privilege to prey on kids from struggling families. According to CNN, the way that they selected these girls tells you that they were targeting vulnerable kids. It's not an accident that Jane and Kate and Annie and Carolyn all came from single-mother households. That's the first names of some of those girls that were exploited. She was a sophisticated predator who knew exactly what she was doing, prosecutor Allison Moe said, according to the New York Post. When you're with someone for 11 years, you know what they like. Talking about her and Epstein. Maxwell faced 6 federal charges in relation to allegedly grooming 4 girls during the 1990s and into the 2000s, 3 counts of conspiracy, sex trafficking of minor, enticing a minor to travel to engage in illegal sex acts, and transporting a minor with the intent to engage in criminal sexual activity. Maxwell pleaded not guilty, of course, to all of those charges, but they found her guilty in 5 of those 6. Not only were the girls abused and trafficked, but they were subjected to forced abortions when impregnated. One victim, who was raped by pedophile Jeffrey Epstein, said he pressured her into aborting her unborn baby and then threatened her if she told. Epstein, who had connections to British royalty, former President Bill Clinton, and other powerful figures, was at the center of the case along with Maxwell. Jane Doe, one of the many alleged victims, said she was drugged and raped by both Epstein and Maxwell, starting when she was 14 years old. Newsweek reports. Doe is involved in a lawsuit against Epstein's estate. She did rape me, Doe told Fox News. I would say it's more than 20 or 30 times. She is just as evil as Jeffrey Epstein. She is a rapist. Doe said the abuse began in 1991 in Florida when she was 16. Doe said she became pregnant by Epstein and was pressured into aborting her unborn baby. I had never been with anyone except for him, she said. The fact that I had to kill my child really affected me and my family. After aborting her unborn child, Doe said she was gang raped as a final punishment and then threatened with a gun. Ghislaine was part of it, and Jeffrey Epstein was part of it, and I was drugged, gang raped, and left on the lawn, and they put a gun to me, she told Fox News. The man that drove me home said I would never come back alive if I spoke about it. She did not say where she had had the abortion, but because she was a minor, the abortion facility should have reported suspected abuse to authorities, but they didn't. Whether it did or not, many may never be known, but the abortion industry has a history of not reporting statutory rape or sexual abuse to authorities. Planned Parenthood has been caught multiple times failing to report suspected abuse of minors to authorities. Louisiana abortion facility that recently won a U.S. Supreme Court battle also has been accused of failing to report the rapes of girls as young as 11. In 2008, Planned Parenthood in Bloomington, Indiana was exposed for agreeing to help cover up the sexual abuse of a minor in an undercover sting. That's a terrible thing, ladies and gentlemen. This man, wealthy, and his girlfriend set these young girls up, and they were flying important people. Former President Bill Clinton flew to that island many times on that private jet. In another case about Planned Parenthood, they faced a lawsuit after it failed to report the statutory rape of a 14-year-old girl. The girl's soccer coach got her pregnant and then took her to an abortion clinic to cover up his crime. The abuse extends to sex trafficking victims as well. In 2011, a live-action investigation uncovered widespread willingness among Planned Parenthood employees to help sex traffickers cover up their abuse of young teens. Epstein is accused of sex trafficking many young girls. He allegedly, and I use that word, he allegedly committed suicide in prison in August, though many believe his death was suspicious. I'm wondering if she will survive. She's been found guilty now, 5 out of the 6. Is she going to tell on who else was involved with that, who they flew over there, or is she not? It remains to be seen. The Sheriff's Report coming up here in just a moment. It's 18 past 8.
'Tis the season when the termites and outdoor critters are showing up, plus moisture issues and crawl space care is needed. Sealed crawl spaces can help stop damp, musty smells from getting into your home. And odor can also indicate there's an environment that can allow mold or wood decay fungi to be in your home. Get your home under control with the professional services from Go Forth Termite and Pest Control. They're located at 667 North Washington Street in Rutherford. Call them at 828-287-3188. Big or small, Go Force Termite and Pest Control can handle it all.
Sheriff Chris Francis gave us the report from the world of crime fighting from his department this morning. We recorded it for broadcast at this time. Here is the sheriff.
Could you give us an update on the horrible, terrible murder over on Morningstar Lake Road? Folks have been inquiring about that. Could you give us an update on that first?
Yes, sir. Most of the detectives continue to do interviews. Yesterday, we do have some search warrants we'll continue to conduct, mostly on cell phones and those types of things to make sure we get our timeline and get a better understanding. Right now, the same 5 charges that I gave you, felony charges that I gave you on Matthew Thomas Cooley, are the same ones that we have in effect. The detectives do continue to work that case. Some of the things that I did not mention when I talked about the partial remains, they were found in a burn pile there outside of the residence at 482 Morningstar Lake Road. The fire was still smoldering whenever deputies got there on Monday, just after 2:30 or so. So it was a long night of trying to locate those remains. There is an autopsy scheduled for 8 o'clock today with those remains. And hopefully we'll have a better understanding after that as well. But it will take some time to get that information back.
What a terrible incident. Terrible incident.
It is definitely horrific.
What's on the report today?
Jim, in the last 24 hours, the Rutherford County Sheriff's Office has responded to 142 calls for service. There have been 12 arrests processed at the county jail, currently incarcerated. We have 157. Among those arrested, Robert Payne Davis, 32-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with interfering with the jail fire system and received an additional $5,000 secure bond. Jason Adam Hill, 40-year-old male of Ruston, was charged with misdemeanor conspiracy and received a $1,000 secure bond. Andrew Franklin Hodge, 34-year-old male of Union Mills, was charged with assault while he was in jail and received an additional $1,000 secure bond. Derek Thomas Rush, 32-year-old male from Ruston, also charged with assault, received an additional $1,000 secure bond. David Hugh Cole, 49-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with unauthorized use of a motor vehicle and received a $1,000 secure bond, as well as failure to comply with child support warrant, and received a $500 cash bond for that. Christopher Scott Jones, 29-year-old male of Dellenboro, was charged with failure to appear, and received a $500 secure bond. Marcus Daniel Edwards, 30-year-old male of Forest City, was charged with 4 counts of failure to appear and received a $4,000 secure bond. Serena Maria Bradley, 41-year-old female of Jacksonville, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear and received a $1,500 secure bond. Tammy Marie Mann, 28-year-old female of Forest City, was charged with assault and received a $1,000 secure bond. Anthony Darnell Gary, 52-year-old male of Trial, was charged with 3 counts of failure to appear and received a $5,000 secure bond. Jason Scott Miller, 20-year-old male of Hendersonville, was charged with failure to appear and received a $500 secure bond. Charlie Weldon Byers Jr., 22-year-old male of Kingston, North Carolina, was charged with failure to appear and received a $500 unsecured bond. Brian Timothy Gaddy, 29-year-old male of Spindale, was charged with 1 count of felony failure to appear and 4 counts of misdemeanor failure to appear and received a $6,000 secure bond. Paul Alexander Ganny, 37-year-old male of Ruston, charged with assault on a female, and received a district court judge for bond. Among our incidents, we had a larceny on High Street in Ellenboro. Looks like there was a Ryobi grill that was taken in that instant. Also, that had 2 batteries and a charger with it, paid $200. There was U.S. currency, an amount of $200, and male and female clothes, as well as linens that were taken in that instant as well. We also had a recovery and a stolen vehicle that happened there at the river access at Grays Road. A deputy got out with a vehicle, and the subject, the vehicle was a 2003 Ford Explorer truck. It did have a stolen tag out of Spartanburg, South Carolina, and it also, upon running the VIN, was stolen and reported to Maiden Police Department there in North Carolina. The suspect was able to get away from the deputy and jumped in the river. However, we were able to identify him, the deputy, with his video that he had as well. As information he gathered on the scene, was able to identify him as a Kenneth Scott Collins. Again, Kenneth Scott Collins, who has addresses in Krause, North Carolina, as well as connections here in Rutherford County. So we'll be looking for him in the near future. In a separate incident, we had an ID fraud on Sea Fowler Road. Someone used the victim's information to open up a Wells Fargo account out of state. We also had an overdose on Salem Church Road. This was an 18-month-old. Appears to have gotten into fentanyl. The baby was taken to Cleveland Regional and released at about 8 o'clock last night, and DSS as well as our detectives are involved in that investigation. We had a larceny on Union Road, West Point Baptist Church. Unfortunately, the catalytic converters were taken off of the van. This continues to be a bad problem. Hopefully, each church will think about where they park those vans, as well as hopefully having some video on that. This church did have video, so we're hopefully going to be able to look at that today or very soon. And then we had a larceny on Maple Creek where a subject came in and stole $70 of U.S. currency from the victim in that case. And Jim, that's what we had to report today.
The other 10-win season. So, yes, this was a big deal for Wolfpack Nation.
Head coach Dave Doran equally frustrated and really just mad at UCLA.
They completely hid the truth of what was happening in their program, and a lot of kids didn't get to be with their families over the holidays to go out there and not play a game.
NC State Athletics Director Boo Corrigan said they exhausted every possibility to find another opponent to play a bowl, but could not. The Duke's Mayo Bowl is still a go for late this morning at Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte between North Carolina and South Carolina. Kickoff scheduled for 11:30. College basketball last night, Louisville and Wake Forest managed to get their game in as the ACC postponed 4 games on the schedule. Cardinals edged the Deacs 73-69. Number 10, Michigan, shorthanded and pulled away in the second half to beat High Point 81-68. The ACC, meanwhile, announced several men's games will have changes for the upcoming dates. On Saturday, Duke at Notre Dame has been postponed. North Carolina's contest at Boston College has been moved from Saturday to Sunday at either noon or 1 o'clock. Also, Virginia at Syracuse, which is scheduled for Saturday night, has been moved up a couple hours to 6 p.m., and Louisville at Georgia Tech has been moved from Saturday to Sunday. This is NCN Sports.
You can't look at anything coming out of Washington and conclude that there's any common sense left in the place. Career politicians tell us there is no inflation. The Afghanistan withdrawal was a huge success. The parents who challenge radical school policies are domestic terrorists, and massive new spending and debt doesn't cost us anything. Washington career politicians want us to swallow their nonsense hook, line, and sinker. Well, let's restore common sense by sending Marjorie Eastman to the United States Senate. Marjorie Eastman is one of us, a mom, decorated military veteran, entrepreneur, and military spouse. Most importantly, Marjorie Eastman is not a career politician. Marjorie Eastman will apply common sense to governing, help cut spending, fight to restore a strong American military, and demand that government serves the people. Send Marjorie Eastman to Washington as our next U.S. Senator. Paid for by Restore Common Sense PAC, www.restorecommonsenseusa.com, which is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Carolina Panthers coach Matt Rule says Sam Darnold will start at quarterback on Sunday against the New Orleans Saints instead of Cam Newton. Cam is 0-5 as Carolina's starting QB this year and has lost 13 straight as the Panthers' starting QB dating back to the 2018 season. The Carolina Hurricanes return to the ice tonight at home versus Montreal. It is their first game since December 18th before they had to shut down because of some COVID issues, and then the NHL followed suit by extending their holiday break and shutting down completely for a few days before Christmas. The NHL, meanwhile, is looking to follow other leagues and the CDC by cutting COVID isolation times to 5 days under certain conditions and where it is allowed by local laws. The change applies only in the U.S. because of stricter pandemic regulations in Canada. Josh, Zach, NCN Sports.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. For the day ahead, we'll see a cloudy sky with a chance of rain this afternoon. Also this evening, could see a few thunderstorms as well. Temperatures staying warm again today with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. Those showers and storms move out overnight tonight. We start dry Friday morning and stay dry Friday afternoon. We'll see highs Friday in the upper 60s and low 70s. Stray showers Friday night, but then we'll see some more rain likely this weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
We're stuck on 60. Right now we're in 60 all morning long, but it won't be long. We'll be moving up about 71, and the showers are coming our way, cloudy skies and showers. So take your raincoat with you, your jacket, your umbrella, or whatever it is you do to protect those pretty curls in your hair. So take that with you because we get some rain later this afternoon. Well, coming up this hour, we're going to shed some stories about the New Year's history, the festive facts about New Year's and some of the rituals, and a couple of other leftover stories we'll get to in just a moment. And then we're going to wrap it up for this program and get ready for My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up at 9:05 this morning. Still a lot to do yet, so hang around. You know, there is a lot of misleading information about Medicaid eligibility. The Arledge Law Firm would like for you to know the truth. For instance, if you need a nursing home, Medicaid will take your home. That's not true. Another one is, if you transfer assets, you have to wait 60 months to qualify. Again, not true. And this big one, if you're already in a nursing home, it's too late to protect your assets. Not true, not true, not true. Call attorneys Gerald N. Willis, Kent Baldwin, or Martin Gerard at the Arledge Law Firm and get free consultation and learn the truth. It's more likely than you think that you may qualify for nursing home care and not lose everything you own. It's worth a call to Arledge Law Firm at 287-3338, located on East Court Street in Rutherfordton. Well, how many of you remember the name Maria von Trapp? Maria von Trapp. If you ever saw the musical The Sound of Music, the movie starred Julie Andrews, but the heroine, Maria von Trapp, was told by her doctor to abort her disabled baby. She refused to do that, and the baby was born healthy. Most people know Maria von Trapp's early life story because of the musical The Sound of Music, but the late Austrian musician and mother inspired millions of people with her joy, her love of children and music, and her strong faith in God after she became a wife and mother to a widower and his 7 children, and later fled Europe to escape the Nazis. One of my favorite movies is The Sound of Music. I love the music in there, and I love the story. But there are many lesser-known parts to Von Trapp's life, including how she refused her doctor's advice to abort her unborn son while the family was facing numerous struggles. A life story, her story is one she shared herself in her book, The Story of the Trapp Family Singers, published decades ago. But it's being brought back out again because of so much information about abortion going on right now and how the Supreme Court's dealing with the Roe versus Wade issue. The Von Trapps were new to America when Maria was pregnant with her son, Johannes, the youngest of their 10 children. The family also was struggling financially because they recently had lost their fortune in a bank crash in Europe, according to the report. Then more bad news came. When Maria visited a doctor complaining of severe back pains, he told her that she needed to abort her baby. Maria wrote in her book, "Your wife cannot have another child," he informed my husband, "at least not until the kidneys are back to normal. They're both badly infected. The child has to be removed, of course, immediately." Well, she was a devout Catholic. She said she felt that the sadness at the doctor's recommendation to abort her unborn child. She remembered telling him, quote, "What do you mean? Of course, that is not of course at all. On the contrary, it is absolutely out of the question. We are Catholics, you know that." Now, the doctor seemed seriously worried. "The child won't be born alive, this much I can tell you," he said to her. However, the Von Trapps refused to consider aborting their unborn son. Instead, they began to pray, asking God to heal both Maria and Johannes. When Maria went into labor, the family gathered together to pray the rosary and sing hymns together. She wrote in the book, "I had to squeeze George's hand very hard and time seemed to stand still. Then I heard a funny little squeak. At that time, a full chorale downstairs started, 'Now thank we all our God,'" Maria wrote. "Why, it's a boy." The predictions of the doctor proved beautifully wrong, and Johannes promises to be a fine American boy. Later, Maria said she learned about Planned Parenthood and the notion of unwanted children, and she thought of Johannes' birth. "I must say, Johannes had not been exactly planned for that very moment, and as far as being wanted is concerned, I would have gladly said many times, 'Oh, won't you please be so kind as to wait for just 6 months,'" she wrote. Von Trapp encouraged families to trust in God when they're facing similar struggles. "If there is any planning to be done, why don't we let Him do it? Looking back now, I know that He chose the only right moment for Johannes' arrival," she wrote. It's a true story about the Von Trapps and Maria Von Trapp, and the Sound of Music came from that story. So there you go, folks. Doctors not always right, particularly if they are pro-abortion. They may not always tell you the right stuff. We're story after story after story of folks. We're told that their babies will be deformed, the babies would be crippled, or something wrong with the babies. They should abort, and the mothers wouldn't do it, and the child came out healthy. Yeah, it happens many, many times. It's story after story. All right, let's see one other quick story right here before I move on to other things. There is a pro-life group, and they are exposing the huge salaries at taxpayers' expense of CEOs funded Planned Parenthood. Huge salaries. American Life League CEO Jim Sedlak said, "Clearly it is time that the United States Congress removed Planned Parenthood's charitable organization status and quit forcing American taxpayers to fund the profiteering parasite." I'll give an applause for that. Yay, yay, Jim. Well, I've said all along, taxpayers shouldn't be having to be forced to pay for that. Now we're going to recognize the pro-life, how they expose these huge salaries of these folks. A recent report shows that the average salary of 53 executives at Planned Parenthood rose 17.4% in the last 3 years. And listen to this, black CEOs at the abortion giant are reportedly paid much less than their white colleagues. The American Life League's 2020 report on Planned Parenthood CEO compensation, published this month, found that 9 of the Planned Parenthood's 10 highest paid CEOs make more than the government's highest paid employees. Anthony Fauci. He's the highest paid government employee. You know that, don't you? This report shows that 10 highest paid CEOs make more than Anthony Fauci. American Life League CEO Jim Sedlak said, quote, Robert F. Kennedy Jr.'s new book, The Real Anthony Fauci, reveals that at $437,000 a year, Fauci is the highest paid federal employee in the nation. That's even more than Biden, whose salary is $400,000. Sedlak also pointed out there is an obvious disparity in the way Planned Parenthood treats its executives of color. Of the 53 chief executives mentioned in the report, 49 are white, 3 are black, and 2 are Latino. One of the 3 black CEOs, Kershaw Debel of the Southwest Ohio region, is paid $124,045 per year, the lowest paid chief executive in the organization. Even though the nation's largest abortion provider receives funding through government grants and contracts, including a federal program known as Title X, it still wants an increase in funds from the Biden administration. Sedlak added, certainly it is time that the United States Congress remove Planned Parenthood's charitable organization status and quit forcing American taxpayers to fund this profiteering parasite. We shouldn't have to be paying taxes on something that we know is wrong. That's my words, not his. In addition to revealing the racial disparity in the salaries of Planned Parenthood CEOs, the report seems to expose the extremely lucrative business as described by American Life League co-founder and president Judy Brown. Planned Parenthood Federation of America and its affiliates combined to make a $1.6 billion business in the United States. Despite continually crying poverty and begging for funds from federal and state and local government, Planned Parenthood reported a total profit, income in excess of expenditures, a total profit of $425 million over the last 3 years, even after paying almost $16 million to its various CEOs and another $6 million to its top headquarters employees. Is it any wonder these folks want to continue the abortions? They take away their money-making profits. The abortion giant is also lobbying to end the Hyde Amendment and force taxpayers to fund elective abortion through Medicaid. So there you go. That's the nitty-gritty of those folks in the baby murdering business and how much they're profiting from it and how much you and I are helping support that because it's part of our taxes. Our taxes are going to that. They're wanting to increase that even more during this Biden administration. And I hope and pray that does never happen. I hope and pray the Supreme Court comes down with the right decision when they decide on this Roe versus Wade and this abortion bill. I hope they do. Anyway, 8:40. Let's see what else I've got left over here on my table before I get into some New Year's facts. This is from WorldNet Daily. Hundreds of out of spite and rage and vengeance, they fired a lot of employees because they did not get vaccinated. Now unvaccinated workers who were fired now suddenly are being begged to return. Yes. They were fired because they wouldn't be stabbed for whatever reason. Now the companies are begging them to come back. Corporations' mass firings of unvaccinated workers have been documented as becoming more common as Joe Biden repeatedly has mandated that they force their employees to accept the experimental COVID shots. But now those companies are discovering that perhaps Biden's leadership isn't really what they should follow. Duh. It's because they're in such staffing emergencies that they are now asking their dismissed workers, the unvaccinated, to return to rescue them. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, it is coming back to haunt them now. They realize they are making mistakes by letting these folks go because they had the decision not to be stabbed. They cut loose a lot of people, and those people were prime workers, I'm sure, and now they need them. I don't know if they'll go back or not. Maybe they will. Maybe they ought to ask for a big raise if they go back since they were fired under those circumstances. I don't know. But that's what's happening out there, folks. There's so many up and down, so many changes of opinion. Used to be you had to quarantine for 2 weeks. Now you don't have to be quarantined but for 5 days. Used to be the masks were the thing. Now some executives, medical executives, said those masks are useless. All they are is face decorations. So where do you go? What do you say, folks? You try to research the facts, come to a decision based on the facts, not rumors, not innuendos, not what the liberal media is telling us. Search it out, find the facts, and make your decision based on the facts. That's how you solve problems. That's how you get things done. All right, let's look at some from the origins of Auld Lang Syne to traditional foods. Find out why the history of the New Year's Eve and New Year's Day is so important to us. What does Auld Lang Syne mean, and why do we sing the song at midnight on New Year's Eve? Many of you do that. Auld Lang Syne is the title of a Scottish folk song that many English speakers sing at the stroke of midnight on New Year's Eve, roughly translates to days gone by. The poet Robert Burns is credited with transcribing, adapting, and partially rewriting it in the late 18th century. Its lyrics, which rhetorically ask whether all acquaintances should be forgot, have been interpreted as a call to remember friends and experiences from the past. Though sung on New Year's Eve since the mid-19th century, it became firmly cemented as a holiday standard when Guy Lombardo and the Royal Canadians played it during a radio broadcast from New York's Roosevelt Hotel at midnight on December 31st, 1929. The band went on to perform the hit every year until 1976, and loudspeakers continued to blast their rendition after the annual ball drop in Times Square. You know, I think New Year's Eve has never been the same since there is no Guy Lombardo band to play the music prior to the counting down of the ball. With this Ryan Seacrest thing that Clark started, and Ryan Seacrest doing, and all these other networks are jumping into us with wild and crazy things, it's not the same. Sure, I'm showing my age, I know that, but Guy Lombardo's easygoing band music was the epitome of a great way to bring in a new year. Doesn't happen that way anymore. They got these crazy people out there gyrating on Main Street in New York City, down Square, and doing all these crazy things. And over on CNN, when they broadcast for years past, the anchors were trying to see who could get drunk the fastest. They kept drinking on the air and see who would get drunk the fastest. That's not what we need to watch for bringing in a new year. We need a Guy Lombardo back. Where is he? Well, who was the first to make resolutions for the new year? People have been pledging to change their ways in the new year, whether by getting in shape, quitting a bad habit, learning a new skill, for an estimated 4,000 years now. Did you believe that? The tradition is thought to have first caught on among the ancient Babylonians, who made promises in order to earn the favor of the gods and start the year off on the right foot. They would reportedly vow to pay off debts and return borrowed farm equipment for the new year. The age-old custom of breaking one's newly formed resolution within several months, a fate that befalls the majority of the would-be reformers, according to statistics, probably originated shortly thereafter. You might ask, Jim, well, when was the first New Year's Eve ball dropped in New York's Times Square? Well, thank you for asking that question. An estimated 1 billion people around the world watch each year as a bright lit ball descends down a pole atop one Times Square at midnight on New Year's Eve. The world-famous celebration dates back to 1904, when the New York Times newspaper relocated to what was then known as Longacre Square and convinced the city to rename the neighborhood in its honor. At the end of the year, the publication's owner threw a party with an elaborate fireworks display. When the city banned fireworks in 1907, an electrician devised a wood and iron ball that weighed 700 pounds. It was illuminated with 100 light bulbs and was dropped from a flagpole at midnight on New Year's Eve. Lowered almost every year since then, the iconic orb has undergone several upgrades over the decades and now weighs in at nearly 12,000 pounds. In more recent years, various towns and cities across America have developed their own version of the Times Square ritual, organizing public drops of items ranging from pickles, Dillsbury, Pennsylvania, to possums in Tallapoosa, Georgia, at midnight on New Year's Eve. We don't drop anything here on downtown Whiteside Road. We just let it roll in by itself. We have dropped a few French fries along the way, but that's not important. But throughout antiquity, civilizations around the world developed increasingly sophisticated calendars, typically pinning the first day of the year to an agricultural or astronomical event. In Egypt, for instance, the year began with the annual flooding of the Nile, which coincided with the rising of the star Sirius. The first day of the Chinese New Year, meanwhile, occurred with the second new moon after the winter solstice. In ancient Rome, the original calendar consisted of 10 months and 304 days, with each new year beginning at the vernal equinox, according to tradition. It was created by Romulus, the founder of Rome, in the 8th century B.C. Well, over the centuries, the calendar fell out of sync with the sun, and in 46 B.C., Julius Caesar decided to solve the problem by consulting with the most prominent astronomers and mathematicians of his time. So he introduced the Julian calendar, which closely resembles the more modern Gregorian calendar that most countries around the world use today. As part of his reform, Caesar established January 1st as the first day of the year, partly to honor the month's namesake, Janus, the Roman god of the beginnings, whose two faces allowed him to look back into the past and forward into the future. In medieval Europe, Christian leaders replaced January the 1st as the first of the year with days carrying more religious significance, such as December 25th, the anniversary of Jesus' birth, and March 25th, the Feast of the Annunciation. Pope Gregory XIII reestablished January 1st as New Year's Day in 1582. Well, at New Year's Eve parties, what are some traditional New Year's foods? Some of the parties and celebrations around the world, revelers enjoy meals and snacks thought to bestow good luck for the coming year. In Spain and several other Spanish-speaking countries, people bolt down a dozen grapes, symbolizing their hope for a month ahead, right before midnight. In many parts of the world, traditional New Year's dishes feature legumes, which are thought to be resembling coins and herald future financial success. Examples include lentils in Italy and black-eyed peas in the southern United States. And that's what we do around here, right? Black-eyed peas, greens. Because pigs represent progress and prosperity in some cultures, pork appears on New Year's Eve table in Cuba, Austria, Hungary, Portugal, and other countries. Ring-shaped cakes and pastries, a sign that the year has come full circle, round out the feast in the Netherlands, Mexico, Greece, and elsewhere. In Sweden and Norway, meanwhile, rice pudding with an almond hidden inside is served on New Year's Eve. It is said that whoever finds the nut can expect 12 months of good fortune. All right, one final question. I'm going to get out of here and rest of the old voice. Get ready for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Let me ask you this. What do Paul Revere, J. Edgar Hoover, Lorenzo de Medici, Betsy Ross, and Pope Alexander VI have in common? All of these historical figures came into the world on January the 1st. According to tradition, babies born on the first of the year grow up to enjoy the luckiest of lives, bringing joy and good fortune to those around them. You can be the judge of whether these particular individuals lend support to the legend. The use of a baby as a personification of the new year has been traced to ancient Greece, where an infant in a basket was paraded around to mark the annual rebirth of Dionysus, the god of wine and fertility. Sometimes accompanied by Father Time, Baby New Year has appeared in banners, cartoons, posters, and cards for several hundred years. See the baby for the new year and the old-timer with the whiskers and the stick walking around to get out the old, bring in the new. It's going to be a great year. 22 is going to be a great year. I feel it. I'm planning on it, booking on it, and I know you will too. Right now, let's have these words and a little down-home music from the Vault of Treasure Music, and we'll get ready for My Great America with Jim and Butch coming up.
There are plenty of drugstores in Rutherford County, but not all of them offer the same personal customer service that is offered at the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton. Laura Hodge and her team have trusted experience and professional service. You're not just a number to them, you're a friend. Make the Medicine Box of Rutherfordton your hometown drugstore at 200 Charlotte Road in Rutherfordton. Open Monday through Friday, 9 to 6, Saturdays 9 to 1, 287-7117.
Nobody gets a better deal than the customers at Sisk Family Ford. They have a proven record of the best deals. Sisk Family Ford, Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealer, has recently been recognized as the #1 Ford dealer in customer satisfaction in the Southeast. That speaks well of their commitment to serve their customers well. Look for all the new design 2021 F-150 at Rutherford County's only locally owned new car dealership.
WCAB.
From ABC News, I'm Dave Packer. The staggering new numbers as the fast-spreading COVID Omicron variant continues tightening its hold in the U.S.
The U.S. averaging 277,000 new cases a day, more than at any other point during the pandemic. The White House reporting a 126% increase in cases over the last 2 weeks. New York State seeing another record-breaking day with more than 67,000 new COVID cases.
ABC's M. Wynn. Dr. Alok Patel from Stanford Children's Health tells ABC News many healthcare systems are under increasing pressure, not from their number of patients, but staff out sick.
What's really alarming, according to data from HHS, 16 states are reporting a critical shortage in more than 25% of their hospital systems, and 21 states are expected to hit this grim number next week. So anyone out there doing what you can to protect yourself is not only protecting yourself and your family, it's protecting our healthcare systems.
Airlines also dealing with staff shortages leading to more flight cancellations today. The job market remains strong.
The number of Americans filing first-time claims for unemployment benefits dropped to 198,000 last week as the labor market continues to recover. Applications for jobless benefits are now hovering near the lowest level in more than 50 years. Strong demand for workers has so far helped the economy fend off layoffs from the Omicron variant.
ABC's Elizabeth Schulze. To diffuse tensions over Ukraine, President Biden, Vladimir Putin scheduling a phone call for this afternoon at Putin's request. Sex trafficking victims and their advocates welcoming Wednesday's guilty verdict at the trial of Jeffrey Epstein associate Ghislaine Maxwell. Attorney Sigrid McCauley represents Maxwell victim Annie Farmer, who testified at the trial. McCauley says a historic moment sends a message.
Regardless of power, privilege, whether you're a president or a prince, you will be held accountable if you engage in sexual trafficking.
Maxwell's attorney says she will appeal. You're listening to ABC News.
Do you check your Google search results regularly? You should. People often get their first impression of you or your business online. Negative comments on the internet can impact your life and your livelihood. Take control of your online reputation. Get your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. It may reveal negative posts from an ex-employee, upset patient or client, news article, legal issue, or even exposed personal information right there in your Google search results. Uncover what's lurking on the internet about you with reputationdefender.com's patented scan and get your free reputation report card. Or for immediate assistance with your reputation, call 800-401-6681. Our cutting-edge technology helps make your Google search results look their best. Call 800-401-6681. That's 800-401-6681. 800-401-6681. Or take the free scan at reputationdefender.com.
Coronavirus causing more heartbreak.
The pandemic has created the perfect setup for elder abuse, according to the FBI, whose statistics show a 55% increase in fraud against the elderly between 2019 and 2020. And 2021 is likely to show a continued rise. Yale University researchers say 1 in 5 seniors living at home reported some form of abuse during nationwide stay-at-home orders. And elder care facilities faced with staff burnout and turnover are forced to hire workers without adequate criminal background checks. Jim Ryan, ABC News.
A man in Los Angeles was brutally attacked this week. His dog stolen.
Robert Marinelli was walking his French bulldog, Luca, in West Hollywood Tuesday when he says he saw a car waiting on the street. A man then jumped out and grabbed Luca.
He pushed me out and slammed the door, and they sped away and dragged me with them almost 200 feet.
Marinelli then called police. He just got out of the hospital and is now pleading for 8-year-old Luca's safe return.
ABC's Andrea Fujii. Taylor Swift wants a judge to dismiss a copyright lawsuit over a 2014 hit Shake It Off. Two songwriters accusing the pop star of stealing lyrics from a song they wrote, zeroing in on the lines player's gonna play, hater's gonna hate. Swift's attorney insists those phrases are in the public domain and free for anyone to use. This is ABC News.
Exergen would like you to know about an important study just released by the FDA. It confirms what the medical community has known all along. Non-contact thermometers are not accurate. The study also reports that they fail to meet FDA requirements for accuracy in labeling. We can't afford to tolerate the rampant false temperature readings from non-contact thermometers. Accurate temperature measurements are essential. You need Exergen thermometers because they are accurate and backed by over 100 clinical studies. Be sure, be accurate with Exergen. Learn more at Exergen.com.
Dave Packer, ABC News.
Hello, everyone, and happy Thursday. For the day ahead, we'll see a cloudy sky with a chance of rain this afternoon. Also this evening, could see a few thunderstorms as well. Temperatures staying warm again today with highs in the upper 60s and low 70s. Those showers and storms move out overnight tonight. We start dry Friday morning and stay dry Friday afternoon. We'll see highs Friday in the upper 60s and low 70s. Stray showers Friday night, but then we'll see some more rain likely this weekend. I'm meteorologist Zach Malak in the Weather Center.
We've warmed up 1 degree since we started out earlier this morning. Now 61 degrees and warming up to about 71 before it's all over with. But 10 more degrees and we'll be to our all-time high and may get some more rain this afternoon. Possibly some passing thunderstorms. We'll see what happens. Stay tuned right here. We'll let you know of any changing weather that might develop. It's 9:05. This is WCAB Rutherfordton, serving the foothills of the Carolinas.
It's time now for My Great America with Jim and Butch, a conversation about positive things about this great country. And now here are Jim and Butch.
Well, good morning, Butch. How are you doing this morning?
I'm doing well, Jim. You know, I couldn't figure out the weather again this morning, what I should wear. And I have to tell you this, you know, we forget what it's like when we lived in a day where you couldn't quickly just go on a search engine and Google things.
That's right.
So there I was early this morning looking at my purple shirt and my brown sweater, and before I walked out the door and came here, I said, I'm going to check and see, does purple and brown go together? So I Googled in brown and purple together, and you know, this is how much life has changed for us. Here's what it said. The brown and purple color combination is a no-brainer.
Yeah.
Dark purple like plum looks great next to brown, tan, coffee, or beige. For an outfit, the combo results in a more muted professional look with just a hint of color. So that was more than I needed to know, but I didn't want to come in here and, for the YouTube channel, didn't want to come in here and have people say, you know, he doesn't know how to coordinate.
It's a good-looking outfit.
Well, thank you, Jim. Thank you very much. You know, I also want to say this. If you haven't clicked and subscribed to the WCAB YouTube channel, will you do that? There's a little button that's there, and it's a way for you to become a digital ambassador and just kind of push out the programming content here at WCAB. In the new year, we're going to be talking a little bit more about ways that you can help build the audience at WCAB, because you know what? When you're an ambassador of truth, when you help bring truth to the community, you, in fact, become an integral part of the team. And Jim and I have been talking about, in the new year as well, some potential projects that are collaborative with the community and with the listeners, not unlike what we just did here at the end of the year with this woman that was helped, this single mom and the children. So many people want to know, what can I do to help practically? And WCAB, in its rich history, has been so involved for so long in being a torch to the community to say that we can be kinder, we can be gentler, we can be God-fearing, we can learn about Jesus through Scripture. There's so many different ways that this place has its own sort of lamp into the community, and we're going to look forward to ways that people can answer the question, what can I do to help?
I think it's great.
Yeah, so often we bang the drum, but people want to know, what can I do practically to help? And so we're going to get a hold of it, pray, and see what we can do to put a salad bar of engagement opportunities for people out there.
And we never know when we're doing those kind of things how it's encouraging. If I may just give a brief update on our Christmas lady and her two sons. She has been so encouraged by the outpouring of love and support from our radio audience that she's encouraged now about getting a place of her own, getting a job, getting those boys in school. And she says the thing of the past that she's been involved with is gone. I don't want that in my life anymore. I want to move forward. I want to find school for my boys and church for my boys. I want them to grow up like they should grow up. And I think she's been encouraged by the outpouring of love.
Right. And of course, the foundation for all of this is we are our brother and our sister's keeper. And it's the timeless message every single day of the year. Of course, not limited to any particular part of the year. Now, this day in history is kind of interesting. In 1922, the USSR was founded. It was created. It was formed with its capital in Moscow, incorporated 15 republics, constituted the largest country in the world, until its dissolution in 1991. And, of course, Russia's very close to home because we have a Russian-born daughter, Tatiana, and she was in orphanage number 17. She was abandoned at a train station when she was little, and a woman named Vera Kadiva, who was at First Baptist Church. They actually had a Baptist church there in Moscow. Even during all the years, there were churches, but they were tremendously persecuted. She was a spinster, and she would go from orphanage to orphanage, and had a time where she met this little girl, Tatiana, and I was on the board of an adoption agency, and through a set of circumstances that were God ordained, she came into our home. So it was on this day in 1922 that the USSR was incorporated. It was also on this day in 1853 the United States acquired about 30,000 square miles of additional northern Mexico territory with the signing of the Gadsden Purchase. You know, I was born in Texas, and Texans have people to this day that say, you know what, we've got everything we need. Let's just secede. Let's just become our own country. So, in any way, a big part of Texas came through the Gadsden Purchase. And this is sobering, and I want you to open your heart and listen to this very directly for every person who has ever said, oh, that prejudice thing, that's in the past. That discrimination thing, that's in the past. Really? Listen to this. In 1952, which is not too long ago, the Tuskegee Institute reported that 1952 was the first year in 71 with no lynchings in the United States.
Wow.
That was not too far back, folks. And we need to, we've got a little sign. Soon after I came here, I was poking around in different places to learn about the history of the county. There's a sign up there that talks about the Bickerstaff hanging tree.
Yes.
Yeah. Of course, that was different. Those were Tories, but it was lynchings. It was killings that happened with a rope around a neck. And we need to remember that while it may not be physical lynchings, there are still conversational lynchings that happen all the time. I'm going to give you a very quick example, Jim. I was in a conversation a couple of months ago with someone, and there was something terrible that happened here in the county. And the first question out of their mouth was that a black person? And I had to deal with them very directly and say, we got to check our hearts. That's not right. It reveals something that's in there. So let's remember that our country does have a stain there, and we are responsible to bring the light and the life of Jesus into every setting that we're in. In 1963, Congress authorized the first Kennedy $50. I used to collect those.
I did too.
Did you have coin collections?
I did.
I had coin collections, stamp collections, bug collections. I was a collection. I remember when I got my praying mantis, and I had a board, and I put the bugs in there. I remember, too, when somebody came to school and said, they're paying for lightning bugs because they're doing research on why they're able to light up the way that they do. And I was like this little diligent entrepreneur out there trying to catch lightning bugs everywhere, only to go to school and have Miss Hammer, my third-grade teacher, tell me, nobody's doing that. So it was the first of several failed ventures on my part. But did you collect things?
I did collect things.
Let's talk about that.
I enjoyed collecting dollar bills more than Kennedy $50. Anytime anybody would give me $1, I'd save it for a while. Yeah, I collected stamps for a while, and collected Lincoln pennies for a while, and those kind of things. But never go anywhere. I just, as a little boy, and one of my grandsons now got into the stamp collecting. He thought every time I get a letter, people, can I have that stamp? But he lost interest in that. He's collecting. He's collecting something else now, but I'm not sure. But we go through those eras in our life. We want to collect.
We sure do. And my friend Tommy Salter, right next door, he was a ham radio operator, and he used to collect cards that came from all over the world. I don't know what it is about that, but it was diligence. I remember being real diligent about some of those things. We also had savings bonds where we'd get the stamps. I don't know where any of these things are, Jim. They might be worth something, but in any event, it's interesting to know. 2006, Saddam Hussein, the former president of Iraq, was executed after being convicted of crimes against humanity. And sadly, in 2020, Argentina became the first major Latin American country to legalize abortion. And I want to remind people on the abortion front, this is not a political issue at the core of it. This is a spiritual issue at the core of it. Molech, you go in the Old Testament, Molech, the prophets of Baal, child sacrifice through history and through civilizations has been clearly seen as a representation of Satan. The whole notion, I've got to kill life to please some God, is threaded through our history. And we've got to remember how blinded any of us can be in the midst of all of this. I mentioned this in a previous program. The Southern Baptist Convention actually passed resolutions in 1971, 74, and 76 after Roe v. Wade, affirming the idea that women should have access to abortion for a variety of reasons, and that the government should play a limited role in that matter, which surprised us. The experts we talked to in this recent study said white evangelicals at that time saw abortion as mostly a Catholic issue. We failed on our watch, Jim.
Shame on my Southern Baptist friends.
Well, and it was true across most of your evangelical denominations. It was the Catholics. It's their issue, and it's a little known fact, but Richard Viguerie and Paul Wyrick, who are people that helped found the Moral Majority with Jerry Falwell through their direct mail fundraising, were actually, I know this for a fact, we're actually looking for another issue that would become a good fundraising issue. So the roots of the anti-abortion movement in the evangelical community were actually born out of the same taproot and fountainhead of the Moral Majority. So we need to align ourselves with Scripture. Abortion is wrong. It's just wrong.
Any denomination.
Right, in any denominational setting, and anybody that claims any kind of morality should also say that as well. Now, Jim, I wanted to mention to you, I did earlier before the program started, we're looking to have Jason Williams on next week. He's the executive director of North Carolina's Faith and Freedom Coalition.
Good.
Get an update from him on what the midterms are looking like and ways that people in Rutherford County can be actively involved. I know you'll be hearing more from Bryson Smith and others with the local Republican Party on what we can do to be boots on the ground here in the days ahead and not be lackadaisical. Got a very important primary coming up with a number of elections here locally, and we're hoping that the details will come together for some entities to perhaps facilitate some public forums so that people can get to know the candidates a little bit better.
It's going to be a busy first of the year for 2022, and I hope and encourage folks that they will study the issues, study the characters that are running on those issues, and make sure they vote for what they believe in.
Yeah, and don't take somebody's word or speculation about any of the candidates. One of the reasons why I'm a firm believer in the power of debates or public forums where you can ask a question and hear directly from somebody, not I heard from somebody who heard from somebody. Rumor and innuendo is not going to serve, I'll just say it, the Republican Party in the coming days. What we need is truth. All we want is truth and the opportunity for people to exercise their right to vote. And truth, as truth comes, will break away all of the nefarious clouds that sometimes circle around elections.
And Facebook is not the gospel.
That is definitely quotable. Facebook is not the gospel, and there's nothing that really exceeds the power of a personal conversation. You sit. My Israeli friends call it a four eyes meeting. They'd say, Booch. They call me Booch, by the way. Booch, we need a four eyes meeting. And a four eyes meeting is like what we're doing right now. There's nothing that supplants that.
And there'll be a lot of things said about different candidates in this primary coming up, and just to stir controversy. And I'd check all of those things out before I said yes.
Right. Absolutely, Jim. And you know what? You didn't have the chance to see it, but when Jim just said that to me, he leaned in and looked very closely and carefully. Okay, so on this day in 1898, my great-grandfather up in Concord, New Hampshire, wrote in his journal, fair and mild. It's fair and mild here, too. Looks like 3 more days of this weather. Had our annual church meeting, started at 10 a.m. and finished at 8 p.m.
Wow.
That sounds like a Baptist meeting.
Wow.
Isn't that something? Annual church meeting, started at 10 a.m., finished at 8 p.m. Eldridge Monroe was elected deacon to fill the place of Dean Knight, who resigned. We had a nice dinner and very pleasant conversation. That great?
That is great.
Yeah.
Sound like a associational meeting for the Baptist outfit.
Or the Toastmasters or the Kiwanis Club that you go to. You know, we love the stories of American innovation. I want to tell you one right now, Jim.
Yes.
One of the things that makes America great is that God in his providence and plan, when he moved on the hearts of people, and it was God's moving that created things like the Constitution and the Bill of Rights, he also endowed in this nation tremendous creativity, tremendous insight into not just making a widget, but how do we do that? How can we make that? How can we put a person on the moon? July 1969, people went to the moon with less computing power than you have on a single phone. I mean, it's just unbelievable. And God has created those gifts in people. Well, listen to this story about an American company. Rocket Chemical Company and its staff of 3 set out to create a line of rust prevention solvents and degreasers for use in the aerospace industry, Jim. Working in a small lab in San Diego, California, it took them 40 attempts to get the water-displacing formula out. But they must have been really good, because the original secret formula for WD-40 stands for water displacement perfected on the 40th try. Is still in use today.
How about that?
Isn't that something? I always wondered, what does WD and what does 40 mean? Water displacement, and it was their 40th try.
How about that?
It was their 40th try. We haven't used that one yet. Now, here's what's also interesting. This is a new kind of consumer innovation. This is meant to prevent rust and help with those nuts and bolts that you're trying. That's primarily why it was created. It came out of the aerospace industry. But you know the way Americans are, it's like, I wonder if this might work for other things.
Yeah.
Well, let me tell you some of the things.
It does.
It does. Well, you get ready with your list, Jim. Here are some of the things. Okay, so somebody has said, and these are all documented on the WD-40 website, somebody said it works like magic on tangled horse manes and tails. Jim. Or it removes gunk from the base of the toilet bowl.
Yes.
That's another. You're saying this knowingly.
Yes.
It's a great lubricant for prosthetic limbs.
I don't know about that one.
Okay, well, that's on their list on the website. It shines the leaves of artificial plants. There are arthritis sufferers who swear by spraying it on affected limbs. Yes, now the company on their website advises against doing this. It's excellent for removing candle soot. It's great for getting chewing gum out of your children's hair, and it's rumored to keep the Statue of Liberty rust-free. It takes the sting out of fire ant bites, and it keeps mirrors and windows from fogging up, whether in the car or the bathroom. Those are just some of the 21 other uses for WD-40 they have on their website. Now, you comment on this.
It is a great tool for getting rid of wasp nests. If there's a wasp nest in the corner of your house or yours,
it is.
Open that little bugger and spray on those wasp nests, and they're gone. I did not realize that. I was somewhere, and there was a wasp nest in the corner, and I was in a motel, and I said, "It's wasp." He said, "I'll take care of that." He brought up a can of WD-40 and sprayed that nest. They went, and they never came back. So we use that for wasp.
Well, you know what, Jim? Let's do this. We've only got 7 minutes left, but if you're listening and you know of a great alternative use for WD-40, can you call 287-3356?
Yeah.
Tell us how you've used WD-40. By the way, they're not a sponsor of this program. They haven't paid us to do this. And it says on the can, stops squeaks, removes and protects, loosens rusted parts, pre-sticky mechanisms, drives out moisture, sprays in 2 ways. If you have a use for WD-40 that's kind of interesting, we'll mention it.
You know, I've often heard if you have a can of WD-40 and duct tape, you're okay.
That just sounds very Rutherford County, doesn't it? You know, you get a screwdriver and a hammer, and you're ready to start a business.
That's
right. If you know of an interesting use of WD-40, would you call 287-3356? That's 287-3356. Tell us how you've used this. This started out specifically for the rocket industry in America, but it's so American to think of other uses and other ways there. So 287-3356, if you'll call and let us know, that would be great. Now, Jim, as we come to the end of the year, we're now over 125 programs that we've done together. That's 60 hours of us talking and exchanging, more than that, with each other. We started out by saying that we really wanted to make sure, among everything, that people remember that our nation, with all of its troubles, and we've got many, our county has troubles, We've got issues related to the opiate addiction. I mean, the sheriff's report this morning, what a horrific story. You don't kill and dismember people and burn their body parts and put them in a shallow grave unless evil is real and at work, which Scripture makes so clear. There is a devil, there are demons, there is palpable evil in the world, and our county has issues. Our county has problems, but the answer to all of our problems are found in God's Word, which is alive and active, as it says in Hebrews. And as we mentioned in an earlier program, Jim, only 11% of Americans read their Bible daily. Only 11%. You know, and so we can't expect to want to know. The answers. We're going to give you some updates on WD-40 here in a minute. We can't expect to know answers unless we go to the only place, the answer giver, who is Jesus. So let me say this real quickly. When you go back in history, our presidents and others understood this. That's why Ulysses S. Grant, our 18th president, said on one occasion, "Hold fast to the Bible as the sheet anchor of your liberties. Write its precepts in your heart and practice them in your lives. To the influence of this book are we indebted for all the progress we have made in true civilization, and to this we must look as our guide in the future. Righteousness exalteth a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people." That's out of Scripture. That was our 18th president, Jim. And it was not an embarrassment. There was no wokeness. There was no political correctness when our presidents, through much of history, would say, "I can't do what I'm called to do in this office behind the resolute desk in the White House, in the Oval Office, without the help of God." And we need to get back to not being apologetic. People ask me where I go to church. I say, Word of Faith Fellowship. People ask me, "What's your religion?" I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. People ask me if Jim Bishop is a friend. Absolutely. You know, so it's not a time for us to waffle. Let's make sure we get our instructions from the instruction book, and each and every day follow the words of Jesus practically.
Yes, I think you're absolutely right. We are so judgmental sometimes every day, and we shouldn't be that judgmental because there are a lot of friends in various churches that were strong Christians. They may not go worship the way we worship. Their worship experience may not be the same, but if they're followers of Jesus, then they're fellow brothers and sisters.
We're going to talk more about this in the days ahead, and I'm actually writing an article for the Daily Courier that specifically speaks to this. It's kind of a revisiting of an article that I wrote at one point a couple of years ago. How did small-town friendly become hate speech tolerant? And we got a lot of hornets that are stirring again, and we just want to be a voice, an oracle of truth to speak against that. We had some people that called in with WD-40 use.
Yes, Bud Bauer said, and he would know, use WD-40 to remove campaign stickers off of car, and it will not hurt the paint.
Okay, now with Bud calling in, I'm surprised he didn't say, certain campaign stickers can stay on and certain ones you can take off. But okay, that's one. Anything else?
Well, that's the only one we got in so far.
Okay, and we love our regular listeners. Bud, of course, is one of them, and every time he walks through the WCAB door, I know that he's got some analysis, hand-done analysis of the election results and voting registrations. And
brilliant man, good friend, brilliant man.
He really is. And, it takes all of us working together. It takes all of us working together to see the kind of county, state, and community that we want to see. I'm going to end with a scripture today, Jim. A lot of people are in a place where they're saying, what's going to happen in the days ahead. We don't know, but what we do know is the only place we can have unshakable confidence is in the power of God's Word and what He's told us about the future. And as we look at the church, what claims to be the church in America today, we need to be sobered by the realization that the truth of 2 Thessalonians 2 is upon us today. It says in 2 Thessalonians 2, verse 3, "Let no one in any way deceive or entrap you, for that day will not come unless the apostasy comes first. That is, the great rebellion, the abandonment of the faith by professed Christians." And we have a lot that's happening in our country under the guise of this is Christianity, when it is not an authentic representation of what it means to be a disciple of Jesus. And we'll talk more about this at some point. Our political issues really are heart issues. Our public policy issues are heart issues. The only one who can change a heart is Jesus. And your self-help books, your self-help programs, you know, grinning and bearing it, you white-knuckling it, that will not last. The only way a heart can change, and he's promised to change it in us if we believe and receive, trust, obey, repent, turn from our wicked ways. When we do that, it puts us on a path, if we're born again, of God doing the work in us that he's promised in, I believe it's Philippians 1:6, to continue until the day of his coming.
God bless America.
God bless America, Jim.
Thank you for joining us for My Great America with Jim and Butch. Join us each Tuesday and Thursday morning at 9:05 for this enlightening program on 100.9 FM and 590 AM. It's My Great America with Jim and Butch.